the ebb and flow. Get sucked out to sea. I wonder where you are, 'cause you know I take these things kinda extra hard. This back and forth will take me anywhere I need to be. I can't need you anymore. You're out there, you're on your own, and I can't need you anymore. They say all good things must end, but it's been too long since I've seen one again. It's over now, you played your role, now it's time to dissipate. I may not get very far, let's be honest, I will never be a star. But holding on will take me anywhere it needs to be. Take a good look, 'cause I'll be gone. I can't need you anymore. You're out there, you're on your own, and I can't need you anymore. Tell me I'm all wrong. Anything to make it easier. Oh, keep your secret songs, 'cause I can't hear them anymore. Oh, tell me when it's all done. Take these memories and burn them all, one by one. 'Cause it's not fair to keep holding on. I can't need you anymore. 'Cause you're out there, you're on your own, and I can't need you anymore. 'Cause it's not fair to keep holding on. Oh, take your words back home, back way nice and slow. Feel the ebb and flow, but please get sucked out to sea. Say that you'll understand, just a little bit for me. Say that you'll understand. Hold up, let's do this over. They always said I had a
Welcome, race fans from around the globe. Here they come, out of turn 4, to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Hey, good evening, sim racing fans. Welcome to One to Go Studios coverage of the 2021 season number 2 for the North-South Racing League ARCA Series, presented by 5-Star Realty Group, J&G Hardwood Flooring, Kelly's Custom Engraving, and Track Time Entertainment. Tonight we bring you coverage of round 11 live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm Harold Arnott for One to Go Studios. Thank you for joining with us. The guys are finishing up on practice. 20 seconds left, so we'll be going into qualifying. Looks like there are 20 drivers, so we'll go right from qualifying to the random inversion up to 10 to set the grid for the race for tonight, which is a 60 lap feature at this 2.5 mile track. So the 150 miles will be the distance for today, this afternoon, as we're finishing up qualifying, or finishing up practice going into qualification. Whether by the Lottie'sTravelWorld.com, you're looking for a vacation, staycation, just trying to get out of the house, you need anything to help you with your travel plans, check out Lottie'sTravelWorld.com. The skies are partly cloudy. Air is 73, 122 degrees Fahrenheit on the racetrack. So it'll be a hot, slippery track for these ARCA cars. Relative humidity 42%, and the winds are coming out of the west about 5 miles per hour. And it's for the Murica 150 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The 5-Star Realty Group is the presenting sponsor for the ARCA Series of the North-South Racing League for the America 150. Guys are out there putting in their qualifying times. Robbie Clavey out there right now, putting in his race time, his laps in. So 2.5 miles here around the circuit, 60 laps in the afternoon conditions. Kind of hot out there on the racetrack. They will have 2 sets of tires in their pit stalls. So the one on this card, and then 2 more. And they have full fuel on these cars. iRacing flags only. Race Control will be issuing EOLs to the last week winner of Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson in Richmond, as he put 2 together. So he's run 2 in a row. So he's going to try to do it again to make it 3 here. The North leads the South by 139 points. You see Robbie putting up his first time at 54.690, with the fastest lap going to Luke Smith. Joe Witowski now with the fastest time. The current standings. There are standings. Ryan Johnson leading the way over Grosser, Sweeting, Dula, Rich, Marshall Johnson, Travis Hoffler, Kevin Barrett Jr., Josh Nelms, and Jeffrey Mathis. That's your top 10 in championship points for the 5-Star Realty ARCA series here with North-South Racing League. Randy Nichols now the fastest car out on the racetrack at that 11. Got Jared April coming back out on the racetrack, but his time's in. The North is leading the South by 139 points. How about the Hard Charge Award is presented by Track Time Entertainment. The award is earned by a driver who gained the most points in the race, and a picture of their car is taken and posted into the Facebook page with its own write-up to highlight their accomplishment. Not only has Track Time Entertainment picked up the weekly Hard Charger Award, but they are offering our drivers a discount as well. Track Time Entertainment is located in Texas and builds custom driving simulators with a personal touch. Rigs are fully customizable with color options and utilize 80/20 US extruded aluminum. These rigs offer a wide range of adjustability as well as different options for wheels, shifters, and keyboards. The possibilities are endless. If you can dream it, Track Time Entertainment can build it for you. That is for our Hard Charger. So, driver who, from the starting positions, gains the most. We got Kenneth Dula coming back, as he says he's here to harass Matt. Matt Dula, has not put a time down just yet, as Ken, who is checking in on the North-South Racing League Facebook Live page. As we have 9 seconds left in qualifying, and then they'll go into warm-ups for 5 minutes of happy hour. As it looks like 21 drivers. And it looks like the inversion will be 10. So we'll invert the top 10 again for tonight. And we'll go over the grid in about 5 minutes when they start to grid up. Our presenting sponsor is 5-Star Realty Group. Special shout out to them. 5-Star Realty Group is located on the Emerald Coast in beautiful Panama City, Florida. 5-Star Realty Group has years of experience in residential properties, investment opportunities, vacation rentals, and commercial properties, and looks forward to helping you with all your real estate needs. One of our sponsors is J&G Hardwood Flooring. J&G Hardwood Flooring is a small family-owned business which started in 2005, located in Christiana, Tennessee, and serves all of Middle Tennessee. Owners Josh and Brandon Klasinski have a combined 35 years of experience to serve all of your flooring needs, from new construction, remodels, or even small repairs. For estimates and scheduling, call 615-904-2218. Our in-car cameras provided by Kelly's Custom Engraving. Kelly Custom Engraving is a locally owned and operated business located in Beulahville, North Carolina, specializing in custom engraving of wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to like and follow their Facebook page to view all their amazing products and place your order. About 3 minutes left in the final practice, and then we'll get to racing. 21 drivers have registered for tonight. Keep an eye on our sponsor logo down there. It would be the leader of the race. Will be the color, either green or gray or blue, to denote who has control of the racetrack. Go to the top spot. And this is scheduled as a north track, so $25 on the line for the Eddie South driver. That's the gray indicator. So up for reward is a cash bonus to the South driver, who could win the event here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Be heading to Rockingham next week, with only 3 weeks. This include this week, 3 races remaining. Heading over to North Carolina, that'll be a South track next week for the Rock in Rockingham. And we've got all of our drivers getting ready to get going here, as we see the yard of bricks there right at the start-finish line. That'll be it for happy hour. We'll get ready to get started for the grid. And here is our starting grid for the Murica 150 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indianapolis, Indiana. Jared Apel on the inside of row 1. Outside of him is Dale Miller. JD Rich on the inside of row 2. Outside of him is Adam Gable. Inside of row 3, Marshall Johnson. Outside, Luke Smith. Inside row 4, Joe Witowski and Jared Mogard. Ryan Johnson, who is the second fastest, and Randy Nichols, the fastest driver, will be in row 5. Row 6, Josh Nelms and Jonathan Cross. Robbie Clavey and Thomas Stewart, row 7. Row number 8, Shane Loveridge and Jeff Mathis. Dan Janjanin And Travis Hoffler will be in row number 9. Row 10, Matt Dula and Jesse Womack. And Justin White will round us out in row 11 in the 21st position. That's your starting grid for the 5-Star Realty ARCA Series for North-South Racing League. Putting in 60 laps, 150 miles. And we're on our backstretch wall here. Guys come down through the line pacing. Some EOLs have been issued to the drivers based on 14 incident points from a previous week. And the race winner of last week, Brian Johnson. So they'll be going to the back from their starting positions. Kathy Joe checking in. Cheering on all the northern drivers. A big stack up on that bottom line. Coming into 3 and 4. There's a short shoot between 3 and 4 there. Over the tunnel. Should be going to green flag racing. We go by. Jared Apel has control at the green flag on the inside line. Eye on this guy here on the start here. Coming to the green flag. Green flag is out. 51 off to a good start with the 83 on his outside. At number 12, looking down low, is Adam Gable. Apel leading the way here. As single file, pretty much up and down the racetrack right now. It's like almost all the way back to about the 15th or 16th spot. On board here with the race leader, Jared Apel. The North has control right now. Apel, Miller, and Gable. Your front three with Mogard not too far behind them. Then a big gap back to Nichols and JD Rich. Harry off turn 4 in the back in the middle. Yeah, the storms have been running through here too pretty well there. Kathy and I are in about the same area. She's about 30 miles south of where I am, so yes, the storms have been pretty darn bad. I think they moved out for the most part today. We'll see. All right, Miller going down underneath of, or actually that's Gable underneath Miller, taking over the second spot, and he moves up behind Jared Apel. So the top 4 are pretty much together. Then Randy Nichols back. It's about a little over half a second, and then about the same gap to JD Rich. That 12 comes flying off that corner. Has to rip it off the wall there to prevent it from hitting there. All right, Kathy, you know the deal. You got to hold those storms down there while I'm broadcasting now. Get your lasso out. Hold it down there. So Apel, Gable, Miller, Mogard, Nichols, your top 5. 3 north, 2 south in the top 5. We're working lap number 4 here. Fairly spread out, the field is. A lot of grandstands all around the racetrack here. Sometimes gets in the way of the cameras. We're looking on the blimp shot here, going into the backside. This guy's sliding off the corners. Talked about that in the weather report, that the track is very hot today. I'm just up the bay. It ain't that far. 51, number 12, and Miller. You see these guys, that right rear wants to slide around. Talked about the heat was 100 and some odd degrees earlier. Let's check up on it right now. A lot of these travel worlds, 121 degrees. So very hot racetrack is going to cause those cars to want to slide around. Feel like they're driving on ice. Some drivers will call it like greasy to the feel when it wants to whip around the side on them. Some drivers like that feeling. Other drivers have a real hard time with it. The ones from earlier today are pretty fast movers from my perspective inside the control tower. They were coming through about 15-20 minutes and then they were gone. So but Apel continues to lead the way with Adam, Gable, and Miller, Nichols, and Mogard. That top 5 pretty close to one another, and then we start backing it up to where J.D. Rich is and Luke Smith and Jonathan Cross. But that 83 and the 12 make contact there. The 12 goes around as the 83 just basically lit them off the track surface and a bunch of cars involved. And yeah, the caution is out. And the chopper, the 83, as you see in the corner, pretty much just lifts the 12's rear tires off the ground, and there's just calamity ensuing behind. We try to get it from the 12 perspective of Gable. Back it up here. There's the 83. There's the contact made. Turns Gable sideways, and he's collected by this. The J.D. Rich was involved in that, and I'm not sure who that first contact was. The 00 of Mogard. So early contact. We'll see what the race controller has to say. That was started in that corner. So under our first caution here in Indianapolis. So many of our fans watching, if you haven't seen the ARCA series car lined up in an iRacing event, the bottom of that bumper in the front of these cars acts like a shovel and goes up underneath of the spoiler system. It kind of lifts the rear tires off the ground. They're not real good for pushing one another. You have to do it very well. But that looked like a little bit of a miscalculation by the 83. He had a good run, as looks like some guys fake pitting going on in the front, but that looks like the 24, maybe the first car, 8 Few drivers down, 14. Looks like the back from 12 on back come into the pits. So the top 12 will stay out, the rest on pit lane. Adam Gable was able to get his car back out onto the racetrack, it looks like. He's actually heading down pit lane still. Currently in his pit stall. And race control issuing the penalty to the 83 of Dale Miller. As we were watching the replay, saw that contact with the 12. Causing the 12 to lose that rear traction. So he'll be going to the end of the line to serve that penalty. And shout out to Mike Xavier. He is the race controller for the North-South Racing League. Very important job to have. If you're looking for a good league, you need somebody eyes in the sky. Keep an eye on that. So, shout out to Mike for being the guy that issues the commands and the penalties and all, and keeps the racing good and clean here. And Jared Mogard in the 0-0, putting it in the trailer. He was involved in that. He was the first car to get into the 12 after the initial spin. Race control, hard job to do. So no matter what, somebody's upset. Yeah, so it's like being any referee in any sport. If you're making all the fans happy, you're not doing your job. All right, getting ready to go back to green flag racing here. On board with Jared Apel in the 51. One of the longest tracks that we visit. But unlike the super speedways, the Indianapolis does not have the high banking. So the speed's not quite the same. They do have to manage the throttle control, as we'll kind of listen in on Jared Apel as he brings us to the green flag here as the pace car is getting ready to get off, as we're coming through the short chute out of 3 going into turn 4. And you hear Jared now switching gears. Get ready to get this car going. Pace car gonna slide his way down in the pit lane. There he goes. Pace car off. It's on Jared as he's inside the zone. He throttles up. We're back to green flag racing. As soon as we cross the line here, we'll have 10 down and 50 to go. You see the pit board there come down into turn number 1. And it looks like that 11 has gotten a good jump. That's Randy Nichols. So Nichols on the high side takes over the lead as Jared Apel is going to look to see if he can get around him here as we enter the backstretch, and Nichols has a decent lead, about 0.3 seconds. We'll continue running this lap with Jared Apel. He was our race leader for the first 10 laps. You're hearing that lift. Not a real long lift, but a lift nonetheless. Now make sure the car is making this turn. And you can get back into the gas as we're getting ready to finish this 11th lap here. On board with Tiny Horse Johnson in the 7th spot. We'll switch back to Josh Nelms. That's in 6th. So Johnson up from the back to the 7th position. Feeling pretty good moving his way up as he's trying to look for a three-peat at number 3 car. Randy Nichols in the Heart Crate leading us across the stripe again. Thomas Stewart there in the 64 Miller. See a 10 of cross sliding. The 5th spot, Thomas Stewart behind Jonathan Cross. Matt Dula making a move around Womack. They're checking in and saying, "Go Ryan." So, checking in on Facebook Live in the Wendigo Studios. Very hot track state. This is causing these cars to not want to grip up on that right rear. So keep an eye on drivers as they go out of the corners. They're going to start sliding up that racetrack and maybe having the car come around and see cars sliding up there and kind of jerking the wheel to get it off there. Josh Nelms having to correct his car. You see every one of those cars coming out of turn number 4. They want to fishtail up into the corner. And Josh Nelms has company with Ryan Johnson. It looks like Johnson makes the pass up into the 6th spot. He's at 64. Directly in front of Ryan Johnson, Thomas Stewart. Everybody is on the lead lap currently. We have 14 going around the 0-1 of Nelms. That's Jesse Womack. Ryan Johnson looking to attack the 64 as he's on the inside there. That should get him up to the top 5. So Johnson in the top 5 now. You see how these guys are sliding the weight of that car around. And there's a 64 as we're on board with Womack. Behind that 64. Got to do some evasive action there, the 14. He's sliding around. Josh Nelms behind him. You're talking about that greasy feel or ice track type feel. You see these cars getting really upset the closer they are amongst one another. And Randy Nichols is leading their way here. And that is a South driver in the North track. That is our sound. The South driver has command of the North track, so the $25 is in play for Randy Nichols. And Brandon Klozinski cheering on Randy Nichols. And that Heart Crate number 11 machine is currently in the lead as we're working lap number 17. 88 looking underneath the 0-1 of Josh Nelms. This is for the 10th spot. The front here, Randy Nichols out to a 1.2 second lead over April, and about another half a second back to Luke Smith and Ryan Johnson and Jonathan Cross. That's your top 5. April checking in, cheering on the tiny horse Johnson. You see Johnson sliding up the racetrack there. Fairly spread out in the top 4. That back driver way in the back there, making contact with turn 4, coming off into the outside retaining wall. We're going to see more of that as the tires start to wear off. Oh, Josh Nelms trying to save it. He's on the apron. He's in the grass. Hasn't hit anyone or anything, and the caution has yet to come out. Evasive action by the 0-1 of Josh Nelms, but that'll put him almost all the way to the back of the field. Here, Justin White in the number 88 as he's coming up on Marshall Johnson in a 33. Finish up lap number 20 of the 60 laps. So 1/3 of the way done tonight. So Johnson, he's now on the back of Luke Smith. Tiny Horse Johnson looking to get in the top 3 as he's putting pressure on Luke Smith in at 39. He's on his inside to the backstretch. He's going to pull back to behind him again, look for a better opportunity. In the short chute, coming off the turn 4 now. Looks like he's in position to get in front of the 39, and they go side by side down the front stretch. And Johnson completing that pass. He's now in the 3rd position. And Randy Nichols continues to lead the way. See April coming way hard off of that corner, sliding that car around. You see a lot of this going on as we're approaching the halfway mark. With Randy Nichols extending his lead out to a 2.5 over Jared April in the 51. And pretty much all North drivers until you get to Justin White. So cap the first and the 10th, but the rest of the 8 are North drivers as Nichols continues to dominate here at Indianapolis. So I've seen Kathy, Joe, April, and Heather all commenting, and Brandon Klosinski all commenting on the One to Go Studios Facebook. And Kenneth Duelis checked in on North South Racing League. So if you haven't checked in yet, give us a chat text there. Let me know who you're following or where you're from. I'd like to have an interactive broadcast. We see there's a bunch of people watching. So if you're watching on a device that allows you to text back to us, we'd like to see you check it in. Looks like Marshall Johnson is on pit lane. And Joe Witowski there in the 10th spot. So 14.4 for Marshall Johnson. Looks like tires and fuel. He's in 19th, being scored a lap down right now. And Kathy's cheering on their North drivers, saying that somebody will catch up to Randy. We'll see how this goes as we're on lap number 26 of 60. And that was Marshall Johnson's first pit stop. So I wonder how many other drivers are going to have to come down soon. As we're approaching halfway. If I was one of the drivers that have not pitted yet, I want to at least get to halfway if I can, and then come down and pit. We're seeing Jeff Mathis and Joe Witowski there at 25, or at 24, sorry. We have Jonathan Cross in that Reese's Peanut Butter Cup 10. Jason Gordon. So let's go Nichols, Team Lone Star. Yeah, real life gets involved every once in a while, and unlike real race car drivers, us simulation drivers usually have another job that puts us in various places across the world, and sometimes we're not around a race rig, so I understand how that goes. Looking here at Cross in the 6th spot. That's the 33 of Marshall Johnson. He's a lap down, trying to work his way up through the field to get his lap back. And this looks like Jared April coming down on a green flag pit stop now. So April coming down pit lane, one of the first of the leaders to come down. Is that 83 of Dale Miller, who's up to 10th. He restarted at the rear of the field for having contact with the number 12 of Adam Gable. He's sliding around there. And it's Shane Loveridge in that blue car that's behind him, the 72. Gotta love Reese's. You know, she's not that far from here. Something about getting the chocolate straight off of the factory, so much better. "29 laps of the 60, so approaching the halfway mark. Just a 2 laps shy. See Dale Miller there in the number 83 in the 10th spot. You see these cars getting really loose coming off the corners. Dan Janjanin has disconnected from the service. He was being shown 12 laps down. So April Johnson and Travis Hoffler all look like they've pitted. April looks like he repaired a little bit of damage on his, but it was all 4-tire tire. Here's the number 88 coming down pit lane, Justin White. And on board with Shane Lovers in the 9th spot. JD Rich coming down pit lane now. Randy Nichols continues to lead the way here, as we have now gotten the cross flag. So Nichols, the leader at the halfway mark. And Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson moving up to the 2nd spot. The top 3 have yet to pit. That's Nichols, Johnson, and Jonathan Cross. They have all 31 laps out on the racetrack, so we know that when they pit, that they will have enough fuel to finish the race. And Josh Nellum's coming down pit lane. So green flag pit stops have begun. The top 9 drivers have either not pitted at all or have pitted on the first caution. And we're showing Luke Smith, who just came out of pit lane in the 39. He stayed on the lead lap though. He's in the 10th position. And the first car that has pitted under green flag conditions, that's the number 39 of Luke Smith in 10th. And board here, Randy Nichols, as he finishes lap 32. And at 17 of Matt Dula, who was a lap down, goes around the Hart Crate machine. And Dula was on fresher tires, as he's only been on the racetrack for 3 laps on those sets. Number 88 is Justin White, and it looks like he's going to try the same maneuver to get around the 11. So Randy Nichols has a 2.2 second lead over Ryan Johnson. We continue to tick off laps here. Pretty sure they're not going to be able to make it on fuel, so they're going to have to fuel. Their strategy may be that there's going to be a caution, and they'd rather take their chances with caution flags rather than wait and try to go down a green flag pit stops and lose a lap. So lap number 34 being worked here. That's number 88. Justin White, as he just gets his lap back the hard way. As Randy Nichols, 10 seconds over Jonathan Cross. It looks like the number 3 of Tiny Horse Johnson has come down pit lane. He's getting service right now. See where he comes out after this green flag stop is completed. In this box for 15 seconds, so doing pretty good there. And here comes Randy Nichols. He realizes he's going to have to come down pit lane. Otherwise, he's going to really be giving up time. So that gives the lead to Jonathan Cross, he's going to need to be coming down fairly soon. He's in that number 10 Reese's car. So there's a new race leader, the number 10 of Jonathan Cross, as the North resumes control of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with Jonathan Cross leading the way. Joe Witowski in the 24, he pitted on the last caution, and Dale Miller, he has not pitted yet. The number 12 trying to get around, it's Adam Gable trying to get around the 10 to regain his lap here. And Johnson, he pit him and Luke Smith are the top drivers that have pitted under the green conditions. Matt Dula and Randy Nichols, Justin White, Thomas Stewart Apel. So 4 cars have not pitted under green flag conditions. That's Cross, Witowski, Miller, and Clavey. And Jonathan Cross is 36 laps on his fuel cell, as well as Dale Miller. So not sure how much further these guys can press the car without running out of gas. There's Cross still leading the way here. But I'm pretty sure he's going to have to come down pit lane soon, as Shane Lover's looking to get around him to get his lap back. Number 72, he gets on by. And Cross sliding it down to pit lane. Gets it woed up. And he's going to get his service done. That'll put Witowski in the 24 in the lead here. And that's number 20 of Travis Hoffler and JD Rich, both being scored a lap down. They both will eventually be able to get around him and get back on the lead lap. And that will leave Womack, the only car, a lap down. And then Josh Nelms is being scored 4 laps behind Jesse Womack. So Witowski and Clavey currently 29 laps on their tires. And fuel, I would guess that both of them are going to have to pit again. That's the 24 and the 73. The 24 is right here in our view, and about 13 seconds behind him is Robbie. And about 2 seconds behind Robbie is Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson, who has the fuel and tires to the end here. .39 of 60 complete here As the 24 is on 30 laps now. So does he have enough to go 21 more laps on this fuel tank? I don't think he does. I believe he'll have to pit again, as well as the number 73, as Ryan Johnson has moved up into the second spot, 12 seconds behind Petoskey. Johnson about 3 seconds faster each lap. So with that kind of a gap here, within 4 laps, we see Ryan Johnson. And there's Witoski coming around, complete lap 40, so it'll be 20 laps to go. So 20 lap signal being given out to the 24. He's working off 1 and 2 there. Like Robbie came down pit lane, so that leaves only Joe here. Joe's gonna have to pit. Just trying to think what his crew is thinking, what kind of strategy they're on with the 24. Showing 18 drivers on, and here comes Joe Witoski. He's going to come down pit lane. That's going to put Tiny Horse Johnson into the race lead. Your new leader, the number 3, Ryan Johnson, followed by Luke Smith, and then the early leader of Randy Nichols, about 7 seconds behind the race leader here, as we're under the 20 lap to go. Johnson here trying to go 3-peat with the ARCA series. See that number 3 tie-dye there has extended his lead out to almost 3.5 seconds over Luke Smith, who's also in a good wrench, but he's in the more traditional white, red, and black scheme. See on the about half a straightaway behind him, and Randy Nichols all the way on the other side of the straightaway. It's almost 6.5 seconds behind him. Nichols and Justin White, the 2 South drivers in the top 5. Matt Dula in the 17 has moved his way up into the top 5. Working the lap 43 of 60. Just under a minute per lap. 16 to go here. You see the Tiny Horse working the field here. Big gap for him. You can hear the Shane Loveridge. And Jeff Mathis, he's in the 9th spot. And the number 8. Looks like he's right behind the 51 of April. He's going to make that move on the inside line here. Crossing the stripe, he could put the 8 up into the 8th spot, as he's got his eyes set now on Jonathan Cross. April now in the back of the number 8 of Mathis. 15 to go here. The race leader is off to a 4-second lead over Luke Smith and almost 6 seconds over Randy Nichols. It was a Jarrett April coming back down pit lane. And there's Jonathan Cross. Number 10 across has caught up to the back of Stewart. This is the battle for 6th spot. There's your Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. 10 of Jonathan Cross. And Jeff Mathis is the 8 is behind him. Johnson now off to almost a 4.5 second lead over Luke Smith. There's JD Riction at number 16, DTA. He's in the 13th spot trying to catch up to Marshall Johnson. And Jared April has disconnected and put the car up into the trailer. So 17 drivers remain of the 21 that started. Looks like Josh Nelms is the 0-1 and he's out on the racetrack. The 24 underneath the 61. 61 sliding that car around that corner. And Josh Nelms being scored 4 laps down. Everybody else on the lead lap. So 16 cars on the lead lap here. You see at 24 of Witowski go right around Marshall Johnson. See these cars continuing to slide off the corners. On board here, Jeff Mathis in the 9th spot, now with Adam Gable at number 12. Adam's actually looking pretty good for being involved in that original caution with the getting linked up with the 83 of Dale Miller, who is actually right behind Jeff Mathis. On board here with Gable and the number 12, he's in the 8th spot. And in front of him is Josh Nelms, who's actually several laps down. There's an 83 and 8 of Jeff Mathis. Jeff Mathis, the 8 at the flame in the front of it. And coming around as a 5-star Realty 8. And behind him is Dale Miller. All right, finishing up lap 50, so we'll have 10 to go to Ryan Johnson as he comes around this lap here, and the 10 to go signal will be given out to him. You see the 83 working that number 8 car. This is the battle for the 9th spot. There's an 83. He's underneath the 8 of Mathis. Nelms throws the car down to the inside groove. Get out of the way of these guys fighting for the 9th spot. Ten laps to go as Tiny Horse Johnson leads the way, 4 seconds ahead of Randy Nichols, who's gotten by Luke Smith. So Nichols trying to put a charge in towards the end of this race with 10 laps to go. Last lap times there pretty close. They're not going to be able to catch up 10 seconds in less than 10 laps here. Nichols would have to almost be catching Johnson at the rate of a second per lap to be able to get there and make a move. Does not look like that's going to happen because they're pretty much the same speed right now. There's Johnson, 4.2 seconds ahead of Nichols. Four seconds of the race lead, Johnson over Nichols. We just finished the 52nd lap, so have 8 laps left here. And there's Nichols we're on board with, as he's got that whole straightaway to make up to get to Johnson. And Randy Nichols has been able to gap him a little bit by 0.2 seconds on that last lap. Could be lap car got him slowed down a little. But still not enough. He's going to need to pick it up or have Tiny Horse shut her down a little. Because right at this point, they're running almost identical times. Randy Nichols about 4/10 faster that last lap. Continue to watch here as field is fairly spread out. Check in with our biggest movers right now. Justin White, 16 positions in the 5th. Matt Dula, who's now in 4th, is 15. And Ryan Johnson was up 8 positions from 9th to 1st. So Robbie in the 13 car, in the 13th place in the 73 car, this is the last car on the lead lap as we're winding down here. On board with JD Rich. Kathy Joe's out there rooting on Ryan Johnson, who's got just under a 4-second lead with 5 laps to go here at Indianapolis. A big lead for Ryan Johnson as he's trying to make it 3 in a row for the ARCA series. There's JD Rich sliding it off that corner as he's up on the 11 here. And I believe he is down a lap, which he is. And there's Marshall Johnson right there in front of Randy. He's also a lap down. Now 5 laps to go. The race leader, Ryan Johnson, who's back to the 4-second lead over Randy Nichols in that 11, as he's had to get around some lap cars. 4 laps to go. Race leader Randy Nichols, pretty much a wide open racetrack all around him as he's working down the front stretch. He'll get 3 to go here. Three laps to go to Ryan Johnson as he continues to work around this racetrack. 56 seconds was his last lap. Randy Nichols about a third of a second slower. Johnson pretty much all by himself as he's catching up to Robbie Clavey. Robbie is the last car on the lead lap in the 13th position at 73. Sticks out for Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson. That's that 2 to go signal from the flag man. Next time by will be the white flag. Ryan Johnson trying to hold this north track in north control to negate the $25 for the south driver if he could win. Put himself in the three-peat position, winning 3 consecutive ARCA events. Caution is out. So that will, because the white flag was not given, we're going to overtime. There'll be a green-white checker here. Being told is the 88, so see if I can find where that was. We're looking at the 88 and the 84 and the 10. '88 up into the wall, comes down, collects the 64. All this happening before the white flag was issued to Ryan Johnson. So we are going green, white, checkered. Our one and only here. As we see Ryan Johnson and Randy Nichols as they're down on pit lane. Nichols looks like he only took 2 tires to take over the lead, with Ryan Johnson coming out in the second position. So green light checker here. Changes a whole lot. So everybody be bunched up with 3 laps to go. This is the one and only green white checker, so no matter what, we will finish here. No more cautions. Actually, they could throw a caution. It would freeze the field if they don't get to the white flag. If they get past the white flag, they will race to the line. And everybody came down pit lane. And the 88 issued a EOL for contact that caused that caution. It looks like a lot of the guys that were trapped a lap down elected to stay out. And they're in front of race leader, the number 11, Randy Nichols. And it looks like Joe Witowski did not pit. He's at 19 lap tires. He's going to make the attempt to be out there for a couple laps. Behind him is Nichols, Johnson, Dula, Cross, Smith, Gable, Miller, Loveridge, Mathis, Claby, White, Stewart, and JD Rich all have pitted. So the one driver, the number 24, leads the race right now on old tires with everybody around him with new sets. So this is our last chance to finish under green flag conditions. Randy Nichols, the sole South driver in the top 5. You have Dale Miller and Shane Loveridge in 8th and 9th, as well as Jeff Mathis in 10th. So out of the front 7, only one South driver in the second spot. He's on the outside of the 24. And he only took 2 tires. I believe those were 2 outside tires. As we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. There goes the pace car. Joe Witowski has control of the race. He'll bring us back to the green flag at number 11 of Randy Nichols, off to a good start. Matt Dula comes in front of the 24. We're single file back to the 3rd position, and there's the number 3 of Ryan Johnson, who was leading the race before the caution came out. He's trying to catch up there. There's looks like the number 39 of Luke Smith there right in front of Ryan Johnson. No, it's only up into the wall. But it's Nichols, Dula, Luke Smith, and Ryan Johnson. Final lap now, white flag out, and my scoring is not happy right now because of the way it looked like it thought the race was over, so I'm not getting live scoring right now, so we're kind of watching. So that is how they are currently racing, and this is for the win here. No matter what happens in the back or in the front or whatever, we will get to the checkered flag here, as it looks like Randy Nichols, the South driver, has control. And it looks like he's in front of Matt Dula now. And they come off that final corner and racing down to the straightaway. Oh, and there's contact between Dula and the 11. There's contact. Randy, whoa, it looks like Johnson was in the front there. Ryan Johnson. And Ryan Johnson, the fastest time there, and ends up winning as Dula and the 11 make contact at the end. So let these guys get around here, and we'll go over the race results real quick. I'm showing the results as Johnson, Smith, Dula, Gable, Loveridge, Mathis, Clavy, White, Cross, and JD Rich. I'm not sure that's actually correct. I think this might have been the way they finished originally, which kind of got messed up because he did not quite get to the thing. So this is unofficial results. We'll have to get the official results from the other guys, but I believe it's going to be the 3 to 39 and the 17. So Smith, Johnson, Smith, Dula, Gable, Loveridge, Mathis, Clavy, White, Cross, and JD Rich for your top 10 for tonight. All right, so now we're going to get in some interviews here. All right, let's get with Matt Dula, see how we can get here. All right, hey Matt, you're up in the booth with Harold, man, and that Ricker Trucking Company, the white and purple car for ARCA series in the number 17. Third place tonight. A little bit of damage, I think, was off of that last corner.
I have nothing good to say, man.
Okay.
I have nothing good to say.
Okay. All right.
I'm beside myself. I pushed really hard to close in off 4 there. I think he ran out of gas, and I went high because I figured he would go low, being that he was already loose off the corner and didn't have gas, and he stayed high, and so I should have, I don't know, taken a second or something to, I guess, collect myself and figure out which way to go, but I didn't. So good third place for Ricker Trucking. Thanks to Buff's Tire, Dropping Bombs Racing, One to Go Studios, J&G Hardwood Flooring, Kelly's Custom Engraving, of course, the North-South Racing League, all the admins. This has been pretty endemic of my season. This has pretty much been what it's been like to consistently lose to Ryan and find a way to lose instead of being Ryan who can find a way to win. And that's pretty much that, man. That's all I got.
All right. Well, you got a podium tonight. I know you were having some issues with connections in the last few races, so at least you got that bug fixed out, I hope.
Yeah, it's doing better. Now I just got to figure out what's wrong with the driver.
All right, Matt. Hopefully we'll get some of that straightened out, and we'll end up seeing you on Monday in the street stacks.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, no problem. That's Matt Dula. We'll send him back on down, and we'll get with the number 2, driver here, which was Luke Smith in the 39. And we check him out here. All right, Luke, you're in the booth with Harold, man. The 39, your Goodwrench service car, the white and red. Second place finish tonight. A little interesting how the late caution and the green-white checker ran tonight.
Yeah, it was. Got me from a third place to a second place, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was definitely. I mean, it looked like everything was going, and the back marker got in contact with another driver, and we had to shoot for a green-white checker, and then there were cars in the back at the end spinning out while you guys were working and racing off of turn 4.
Yeah, I should have fought Ryan harder for third there on the last lap because I might end up winning this race if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, it'd have been very interesting, and it's very strange. It's we were up here in the booth. It looked like at least our timing, our overlay timing, ended the race before basically saying that the white flag was given to the driver, but apparently iRacing said it wasn't. So it was kind of interesting the way that timing went. So there's a lot of things that didn't look out right, but hey, you're up here second place. So who do you want to thank for that to get the Monte Carlo up in second place tonight?
First off, I want to thank Randy and Ryan. They got me into this league, and I find it really fun. I'd like to thank you guys for putting on a broadcast. I'd like to go back and watch it. Thanks to all the admins and all them who run this league, and thanks to anybody who wants to watch this because it's kind of fun to do.
All right, that's Luke Smith. He's our second place winner, and is that not sure? Do you run the street stocks? I don't think we've talked on the Monday night series yet.
Nah, I don't run the street stocks.
Okay, well, then we'll see you next Thursday as we go to the Rock.
See you then.
All right, Luke Smith, second place for tonight. And we're gonna. All right, Ryan, that's a three-peat for you.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
You're here again, and you're running there, and I just mentioned a second ago, our timing and scoring said that you, at least mine, not iRacing's, but my timing and scoring said you took the white flag, so it messed everything up.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But apparently not.
That last caution, I was like, well, I'm not going to take any chances. I figured I'd take 4 and a little bit of fuel, just to be safe. And I called it. Like, I saw Joe stayed out, and I'm like, well, I know exactly what's going to happen here. Randy, Dula, and possibly Luke are going to all get around me because Joe isn't going to be able to accelerate, as good as we did on new tires. And sure enough, I had to lift a ton going into turns 1 and 2. And we were fighting for third, me and Luke, and then I can't believe Randy ran out of fuel, man. That was wild. I just barely snaked by.
Yeah, I was like, Matt said that he just had nowhere to go. He's like, he thought he'd go low and he stayed high, and they collected one another, and you just happened to be out of that, just very strange. I mean, it's very, like you said, that, those who are watching that haven't done iRacing here, even a 2-tire stop that Ryan did could have easily put a splash of fuel in the car, would have never changed anything.
Yeah, that's just wild. I couldn't believe it, and unfortunately for Matt, he had nowhere to go either. Like you said, that was a wild finish. I was not expecting that. I was, after we got going, I was like, well, we got third. That's it.
Well, that puts you three in a row. So that's 2 that you come from the back. So not too bad, right?
No, not too shabby at all. We got was it Rockingham, I think, next week, right?
Rockingham and South Boston will end it for you guys in this system.
I love Rockingham. We're usually pretty good there. I'm looking forward to that race. Hopefully we can go 4 in a row, or I believe that, right?
That's what I was checking. I can double check that, but I could have sworn that's what happened. I remember writing it down.
maybe it's 4 out of the last 5 or whatever. But
Actually, I made a mistake. The shake you're correct. You have 4 out of the last 5. Yes.
yeah, I think
So it's not, but this would be 3 in a row because you did the Milwaukee Mile, Richmond, and tonight.
yeah, Talladega I think broke that up. We
Yep.
we got caught up in some stuff there.
Adam Gable won at Dega. So back to May 20th, you've been only not in victory lane for 1 race. So
It should have been tonight. to be completely honest, but I guess we just got lucky. That's all I got, man.
Yeah. 5 out of the last 6. And oh, by the way, the very last lap, you were the fastest car and the fastest lap for the race.
Wow, no kidding.
The very last lap.
Well,
53.955. So yeah, I think there's extra points for that for you guys, correct?
Yes, sir. 1 bonus point.
1 bonus point. So not that you needed it all. I mean, since you're already up on top.
All right. I mean, every point helps.
and you had a 0 incident night, right?
Yep. There's 5 of them.
Yeah. So you just got to figure out how to get the car up in the front to begin the race.
Yeah. Well, winning doesn't help that.
No, I thought about qualifying.
Oh yeah, we've had. Man, I don't know what's going on this year with us. We had a bunch of pole awards last season, and we just struggled really bad in qualifying this season.
Well, actually, I should take that back. You were actually second on the charts tonight. So actually today you did pretty good. But normally I've been seeing you about middle pack in the ARCAs and at least the street stocks as well. Yeah. But it's been an Achilles heel. You haven't really, your qualifying needs to improve a little, right?
Yeah, we'd like to a little bit. I mean, it'd be nice. There's the bonus point for that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, so a clean sweep. You want to like
right? No, I got you. I got you.
And then the EOL, there's so the inversion was going to put you in the middle of the pack anyway. So.
Maybe that's why I feel like we aren't qualifying well. We always, especially whenever we get the pole, it's always a 10-car invert. So I'm like, well, we're starting 10th. And I'm not used to starting up there because it never happens, even if you get the pole.
Yeah. All right, man. So who you want to thank? We got the 3 showing up here, the tie-dye 3.
All the admins at NSRL. All our sponsors, Kelly's Custom Engraving, J&G Hardwood, Track Them Entertainment, 5-Star Realty Group, Taz Motorsports, family, friends, all the drivers, everyone watching, tuning in. You opened the booth for broadcasting, and been a really great season to say the least. This season been surprisingly pretty good.
All right, Ryan Johnson, the number 3, bringing it home again for the North, and that'll actually lock out the South. They had the opportunity for the $25, but it stops that there. And we'll see you next week at Rockingham.
Yes, sir. Thanks, buddy.
All right. All right. So, like I said here, we're going to Rockingham next week. We can show a race summary real quick at the J&G Hardwood Flooring race recap for the Murica 150. Johnson was your winner. 2 cautions for 6 laps. 21 drivers started the race. Johnson on the last lap getting the fastest time for the 53.955. And our results. Johnson, Smith, Dulo, your top 3. Gable, and then Loveridge. Mathis, Clavey, White, your 8. 9th was Jonathan Cross. 10th was JD Rich. Travis Hoffler and Joe Witowski, Dale Miller, and Thomas Stewart in 14th round out all your cars on the lead lap. Randy Nichols ends up being a lap short with Marshall Johnson. Has been told by the drivers, Randy Nichols ran out of gas on the last lap coming to the checkered flag. Josh Nelms was 4 laps down. Jesse Womack 15. Jared Apel 20 laps back. Dan Jan 48 laps behind. And Jared Mogard 56 laps behind. This was your results for the 5-Star Realty ARCA Series for the North-South Racing League for the Murica 150 Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Indianapolis, Indiana. Next week, we're off to the Rock in Rockingham, North Carolina. Hope to see you guys next week. Until then, we'll see you at the next turn.
What an exciting race brought to you by One to Go Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors.